Ohana means family. Family means no one gets left behind. That seems to be Disney's motto when it comes to adapting their animated hits into new live-action vehicles, though they do appear to be pumping the brakes to varying degrees of success. Blissfully, the 2002 film Lilo Stitch gets an adaptation that is vibrant, whimsical, and earnest, and also cute and fluffy. Perhaps it's the fact that Lilo Stitch has always been an outlier in the world of Disney animation, coming as it did with the last gasp of the studio's renaissance. Mashing up Hawaiian culture and sci-fi lore, it tells the story of Experiment 626, a dangerous and chaotic alien who crash lands on Earth. It's not a Disney princess movie or even a mythos-steeped tale like The Lion King, Mulan, or Hercules. Instead, it's a quirky movie about found family, connection, and the importance of finding one's people. Stitch, as 626 is renamed by precocious and lonely Lilo, Maya Kealoha, was created to sow destruction, but he flourishes under Lilo's loving and anarchic care. At its core, this new version of Lilo, Stitch, which hits theaters Friday, is the same as its animated predecessor, but most crucially, and surprisingly, it's also interested in telling a deeper story that shades in much of Lilo and Nani's grief with colors that imbue the project with a glorious richness. Part of this is undoubtedly the work of director Dean Fleischer Camp, who is best known for directing the equally charming and melancholy Marcel the Shell with Shoes On. Camp takes the wackier aspects of Stitch's antics, including his penchant for tearing things to shreds and desire to eat anything he sees, and he tempers them with the heartbreaking stakes of Lilo and Nani's situation. As wild or gross as Stitch gets, he never fully extinguishes the thread of melancholy woven through the film. As in the original film, Nani, Sydney Agudong, is Lilo's sole guardian following the death of their parents. While parental loss is a frequent theme in Disney films, it is Camp's poignant direction that brings the hurt and confusion of that into the foreground, making Stitch a healing figure in Lilo's life as much as she is in his. Screenwriters Chris Kekenio-Kalani Bright and Mike Van Ways wisely divide the social worker assigned to Lilo's case and Agent Cobra Bubbles into two distinct characters. Tia Carrere, who voiced Nani in the original film, brings a sensible compassion to Mrs. Mayes. Keikoa, a social worker who is less looming villain and more genuine civil servant. Meanwhile, Courtney B. Vance employs his stern, dramatic chops in his take on Cobra Bubbles, a CIA agent tracking Stitch and other signs of extraterrestrial life, all while never losing a playfulness that underpins every choice he makes. Zach Galifianakis and Billy Magnuson revel in their ridiculousness as evil scientist Dr. Jumba and researcher Agent Pleakley, respectively. Magnuson's unhinged glee at the vagaries of Earth is comedic gold, while Galifianakis deploys his trademark deadpan effectively as the film's true antagonist. Honestly, I would watch an Odd Couple spinoff about these two trying to adjust to life as humans any day of the week. Magnuson, in particular, seems to relish being a goofball to an utterly disarming degree. Still, none of this matters without the film's central sisterly bond between Nani and Lilo, which Agudong and Kealoha effortlessly bring to life. Kealoha is a star in the making, every bit as mischievous, intelligent, and wise as the character she's playing. Even as a kid, I found the animated version of Lilo to be an irritating brat who needed a good timeout or 10, but Kealoha offers Lilo a wellspring of sadness and aching loneliness just beneath the surface of her more impish qualities. With a twinkle in her eye, Kealoha makes it clear that much of Lilo's bad behavior stems from her grief and inability to make sense of it. As Nani tells her, Lilo is not bad, but sometimes she does bad things. With Kealoha inhabiting the character, that finally feels true. Kealoha is matched by Agudong's charmingly exasperated, deeply loving take on Nani. Given a deeper backstory, including deferred college dreams, Nani gets to be her own person, beyond merely the put-upon sister plunged suddenly out of her depth. The genuine love and care between Agudong and Kealoha radiate off the screen, which amplifies our emotional investment as viewers. Kaipo Dudua's slightly nerdier take on Nani's love interest, David, has a similar effect, elevating him from hunky surfer to charming, if also bumbling, heartthrob. And Hannah Waddingham gives a good, stern space lady as the voice of the Galactic Grand Councilwoman. But what would the movie be without its Stitch, animated to adorably fluffy effect in this more realistic rendering? Now 3D rather than mere pen and ink, he looks instantly huggable. So much so that I can't even begrudge Disney the thousands of stuffed Stitch toys this is bound to sell. Chris Sanders, who co-wrote the 2002 film and voiced Stitch then, returns to the mic, and the intervening years have only made Stitch's now iconic closed-throat vocalizations more resonant and affecting. We dare you not to melt when he woefully declares, "Stitch bad," and his final speech about the family he found, little and broken, but still good, pulls ever so tenderly at one's heartstrings. Tying all of this together into a lay of sorts is the film's crucial non-speaking character, the islands of Hawaii. It's impossible to ignore the impact of the film's setting. Lilo and Stitch has always been a love letter to Hawaii, its people, culture, and environment. While the movie isn't a musical in the same sense as many of the animated classics, it captures the musical traditions of the islands in its soundtrack. Getting to showcase all of those things in live action, rather than lush animated renderings, makes this the rare outing from Disney to outstrip its original version. Now, we actually get to take in the ocean views and tropical vistas that Lilo and her family call home. We're in the waves with Nani and David as they surf. Camp utilizes the locations to their fullest advantage, immersing audiences in the abundant natural beauty and, by extension, the place that Lilo and, eventually, Stitch call home. Despite its intergalactic trappings and setting in paradise, Lilo Stitch is a movie about things far more relatable to our daily lives than daring adventures or happily ever afters. This new iteration brings the film's powerful themes front and center, particularly in its climax, which trades some of the animated film's spaceship theatrics for a sequence that touchingly highlights Stitch's bond with Lilo and the goodness it has cultivated in them both. Here, it's less a Hawaiian roller coaster ride and more a winsome feel-good flick about what it is to find one's family and to, in turn, be found.